Hello dear viewers, this is the second video towards the CCNA Security 260-210 certification labs. Today we are going to implement site-to-site IPSec VPN between router 3 and ASA using GNS3. This lab is based on the CCNA Security version 2 labs from Cisco. So we are going to implement chapter 10 lab B. So in this lab we are going to implement this topology. We are going to have 3 routers, 1 ASA, 3 switches and 3 host machines, and our aim for today is to set up an IPSec VPN between the ASA and router 3. So we are going to set up this site-to-site VPN between ASA and R3. And there are a few changes we are going to make in GNS3, especially the port labels. Okay. Other than that, most of the interface assignments will be similar. And one major difference we are going to see is the ASA. The original lab is based on the 5505 ASA, but in GNS3 we are going to use a virtual ASA. So we will be using virtual ASA to implement our lab. So the lab will have the outside zone through the G00 interface, and it will have the DMZ zone through the G02 interface, the inside zone through the G01 interface. So these are the labels we are going to use. And again, this lab is a continuation of the previous lab I have posted in YouTube using ASA GNS3 basic configurations. So for this lab to work, the previous lab has to be completed. So you should have end-to-end connectivity between hosts A, B and C. Host B should be able to ping host A and host C, but since the security level is higher in the internal zone, external and DMZ zone hosts should not be able to ping towards the internal zone. Once these configurations are achieved, then we will be able to set up the IPSec VPN between the ASA and router 3. So tasks for this lab. In part 1 we are going to configure the basic device settings, though this setting was completed in the previous YouTube video I have posted. So you should be able to look at the posts I made in the previous video. Part 2 again is expected to be completed before this lab, so making sure you have ASA access and you can manipulate or navigate through the ASDM. And then in part 3, this is where we are going to start our lab today. We are going to configure router 3 as a site-to-site IPSec VPN endpoint using CLI. And in part 4, we are going to configure our ASA as a site-to-site IPSec VPN endpoint using the ASDM. So part 3 and part 4 are predominantly what we are going to accomplish today. Okay, without further ado, let's move on to our lab. I'll open GNS3 now. So as I said, the basic configuration is already done. So if we look at the connectivity, I'm going to open PCB. Okay, PCB is my actual host. So I opened PCB and I will try to ping the external computer. 172.16.3.3, and as you can see we have a successful ping. This successful ping shows that our internal zone is able to reach the external zone. Now let's ping 192.168.2.3. So this is the computer in the DMZ zone, and as you can see I was able to hit the DMZ zone computer also. This shows that we have the end-to-end connectivity we want to see. And besides the end-to-end connectivity, we have to also make sure any traffic movement from a lower security to a higher security level should be blocked. That means if I open the packet tracer activity through ASDM tools, packet tracer, and try to ping, if we ping from outside to inside, so 209.165.200.22.25 is outside interface, and 2266 is on the ASA inside. So if we telnet in through, as you can see, it passed through the access list lookup, route lookup was checked, NAT lookup was checked, and as soon as it hits the access loop lookup, the access loop rule actually rejected it. So this shows that our configuration, our basic configuration is actually done. So now for today we are going to go ahead and create our site-to-site VPN. Now for this site-to-site VPN setup, our first procedure will be to set up the configuration on router 1. If you look at the router 1 configuration, our basic configuration actually is this. So we have done this in our previous video, so I'm not going to concentrate on this. So this setting should have been done from the first video. So our today's task will be to create the crypto map, so that IPSec VPN will be set between ASA and R3. So on router 1, this is the only command we are going to put in. So we are going to create an ISA KMP policy map of number 10. So I will just copy these 2 lines of code and I will paste it into router 1 configurations. Now router 1 user access verification is admin01 and password is admin01pass. Once I have this, I will enter into global configuration mode and paste the commands, and I will save this configuration. Now on router 1 I have the necessary configurations I need. On router 2 I don't need any configuration. Now on router 3 the basic configuration is already done. The router 3 basic configurations are these configurations. So we have done this from our previous video. So today we are going to implement the third router as a site-to-site IPSec VPN endpoint. So this is the purpose of our lab today. So to do that we are going to create a crypto map. We are going to enable crypto map ISA KMP, and then we are going to define our policy. We are going to have a pre-shared authentication. We will enable 3DAS and then SHA as a hashing algorithm with group 2 Diffie-Hellman key exchange. And then we are going to copy these configurations into router 3. Again for router 3, my username is admin01, password is admin01pass, config t, and let's go ahead and paste it and make sure there is no error. Okay, make sure there is no error, and this will be what we need on router 3. And let's save the configuration. So the router 3 configuration is now done. Our next step will be to configure the ASA. Okay, now go back to our ASDM. We are going to configure it from the wizard. Click on wizards, VPN wizards, site-to-site VPN wizard. Just click on site-to-site VPN wizard. Now this is just the initial screen. Go ahead and click next. We are going to open the peer address. So the first step we are going to do is, now let's send the interesting traffic from PCP to PCC, ping 172.16.3.3, and as you can see the ping was successful, so we have sent the ping request. Now we are going to click on the monitoring tool again, VPN sessions, and as you can see we have the session established. Okay, now if we look at the encryption statistics that we have been using, these are 3DAS was used twice, That's what we have been using. Now if we look at the crypto statistics, we have used encapsulation. Okay, so as you can see, we have now our site-to-site IPSec VPN set up between the devices, and this concludes our lab. Thank you for watching, and for the next videos we will set up clientless SSL VPN. I'll see you there. Thank you.